Moses vs. Pharaoh, the plagues of Egypt. A biblical narrative based on the King James Version on how God's power brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. The calling of Moses. Exodus 3 verses 1 to 12. Moses, a shepherd in the land of Midian, was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, near Mount Horeb. Suddenly, he saw a bush that burned with fire but was not consumed. As he drew closer, the voice of God called out from the flames, "Moses, Moses." Exodus 3 verse 4. Trembling, Moses replied, "Here am I." God commanded him to remove his sandals, for he stood on holy ground. Then, the Lord revealed his plan. "I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt. Come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people the children of Israel out of Egypt." Exodus 3 verses 7 and 10. Moses hesitated, doubting his ability to confront Pharaoh. But God reassured him, "Certainly I will be with thee." Exodus 3 verse 12. Signs and wonders. Exodus 4 verses 1 to 17. Still unsure, Moses asked for a sign. God transformed his rod into a serpent and then restored it. He made Moses' hand leprous and healed it again. Yet Moses protested, claiming he was slow of speech. The Lord declared, "Who hath made man's mouth? Or who mocketh the dumb, or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord?" Exodus 4 verse 11. Finally, God appointed Aaron, Moses' brother, to speak on his behalf. Strengthened by divine power, they set out for Egypt, confronting Pharaoh. Exodus 5 verses 1 to 21. Moses and Aaron stood before Pharaoh and declared, "Thus said the Lord God of Israel, let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness." Exodus 5 verse 1. Pharaoh scoffed, "Who is the Lord, that I should obey his voice?" Exodus 5 verse 2. Instead of releasing the Israelites, Pharaoh increased their burdens. The people groaned under harsher labor, and Moses cried out to God. The Lord reassured him that deliverance was near. The first plague, water turned to blood. Exodus 7 verses 14 to 25. God sent Moses and Aaron back to Pharaoh. At the Nile River, Aaron struck the waters with his rod, and they turned to blood. The fish died, and the river stank. Yet Pharaoh hardened his heart and refused to let the Israelites go. The second and third plagues, frogs and lice. Exodus 8 verses 1 to 19. The Lord sent a plague of frogs, covering the land. Pharaoh pleaded for relief, and Moses prayed to end the plague. But when it ceased, Pharaoh hardened his heart. Then Aaron smote the dust, and lice swarmed the land. Even Pharaoh's magicians admitted, "This is the finger of God." Exodus 8 verse 19. Yet Pharaoh refused to yield. The fourth and fifth plagues, flies and livestock pestilence. Exodus 8 verses 20 to 32. Swarms of flies filled Egypt, but God spared the land of Goshen, where his people dwelt. Pharaoh relented briefly but soon changed his mind. Then, God struck Egypt's livestock, but not one animal of Israel died. Pharaoh still would not let them go. The sixth and seventh plagues, boils and hail. Exodus 9 verses 8 to 35. Boils broke out upon man and beast. Even the magicians could not stand before Moses. Next, a mighty hailstorm destroyed Egypt's crops and cattle. Pharaoh admitted his sin. "I have sinned this time, the Lord is righteous, and I and my people are wicked." Exodus 9 verse 27. Yet when the hail ceased, he refused to let them go. The eighth and ninth plagues, locust and darkness. Exodus 10 verses 1 to 29. Locusts devoured what was left of Egypt's crops. Again, Pharaoh pleaded but soon reneged. Then, darkness covered Egypt for 3 days so thick it could be felt. But the Israelites had light in their dwellings. The final plague, death of the firstborn. Exodus 11 verses 1 to 12. God warned of a final plague. "About midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die." Exodus 11 verses 4 to 5. The Israelites were instructed to mark their doorposts with the blood of a lamb. That night, the angel of death passed over Egypt. In every Egyptian home, the firstborn perished, but Israel was spared. Pharaoh finally relented. Rise up, and get you forth from among my people. Exodus 12 verse 31. The Israelites departed in haste, carrying unleavened bread and great spoil from Egypt. The pursuit and the parting of the Red Sea. Exodus 14 verses 1 to 31. Pharaoh's heart hardened once more. He pursued the Israelites with his army, trapping them at the Red Sea. The people panicked, but Moses declared, "Fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord." Exodus 14 verse 13. God commanded Moses to stretch out his rod. The waters parted, and Israel crossed on dry ground. When Pharaoh's army pursued, the Lord closed the sea upon them. The Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. Exodus 14 verse 27. The Israelites stood in awe, rejoicing in their great deliverance. Conclusion. The story of Moses versus Pharaoh is a testament to God's power and faithfulness. Through 10 mighty plagues and the miraculous parting of the Red Sea, he delivered his people from bondage, proving that no force can stand against his will. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Exodus 14 verse 14.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.